Hi, welcome to Unscripted Soul. I'm Flo. I'm here with my co-host Rebecca. We're two spiritual coaches that believe the most profound conversations happen when we drop the script and speak from our soul. Every week we go live into spiritual awakening, becoming more of our true self, and living as conscious creators. Our hope is that our journey will help you navigate your journey. We're so happy that you're here. Let's dive in. So today we're talking about surrender. And before we started recording, we had a little story about surrender, talking about how one of our teachers, our spiritual teachers, talks about surrender a lot. His name is Aaron. Um, and he talks about how just letting go of, I'm okay if it happens, I'm okay if it doesn't happen. Just whatever happens, I'm fine with. So, what does surrender mean to you, Rebecca?
Yeah, yeah, so I love how you mentioned that about Aaron. I love his little saying that he would say, I'm good either way. Like if he was trying to call in something, like, I really want this new job, but I'm good either way. And when I heard him talk about that, it reminded me of something when I was little. So when I was little, I used to play this little game with my mind. Whenever I wanted something, I noticed that if I believed I wasn't gonna get it, or if I like thought about not getting it, like, oh, I'm certain I'm not going to get it, and I just kind of embodied that energy for a minute, I would get the thing. And it was working so good that like it was my little trick. I never told anybody about it. I was little, so it was like, cool, this is my little trick. And then years later, I'm learning about the law of attraction and positive thinking, and everybody's telling me, don't think about the worst case scenario. Put all your attention on visualizing the thing you want. And I had this thought. I was like, well, I wonder why that worked when I was a kid. I was doing the opposite. It's like, what the heck's going on? And, I thought about it a few times here and there. And then when Aaron said that, and he was referencing a book called Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zealand. And in this book, that's one of the techniques for, manifesting things was he called it in the book excess potential. And when you have excess importance also, so when you put something on a pedestal and you really want it a lot, you create this was a quantum physicist who was writing this book, so he was like saying that you create this excess potential, and then the universe creates these balancing forces that come in and balance things out. So that's why sometimes when you want something so bad and you can't let go, you can't surrender, sometimes it like something happens and you don't get the thing and it's like, ah, but I wanted it. Or I was trying to use the law of attraction and I was like, I wanted it so bad. And so for me, I was like, oh, that's what was happening when I was a kid. I was really just surrendering and saying, hey, if I don't get this, that's okay. I kind of just let go. So it wasn't the fact that I was imagining not having it, it was the fact that I let go of wanting it. So I
Wow.
guess I don't, that doesn't really answer your question about what surrender means to me, but that's the little story that I was telling you about before we started recording.
That's amazing. I never thought of it that way. The way I think of it is, so you want something and you say, I would love to have this blank, whatever it is, and you don't worry about the how. You just say, I would love this universe. And then you don't worry about the how, you just concentrate, that's what I'm gonna get, and you see it happening. That's what I thought manifestation was, but you're saying something else. So I would love to research that afterwards because I would love to put that into practice. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
And
being okay and letting go. Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. And it's like, it's something that you don't really want to like focus too much on. But it's just like, you can even think of it as like, if you really want something really bad, go ahead and imagine the worst case scenario just enough to where you imagine yourself being okay with not getting it. And there's something about that energy that says like, I'm okay. I've surrendered.
Yeah.
But I look at surrender in a lot of different ways. But that was one interesting little thing that Aaron brought up that just kind of triggered that old memory of being a kid. And I was like, huh, that is really interesting.
Yeah, as you say that though, it makes me think of how I actually operate too. Um, I don't call it surrender, I call it being guided. So if I want something, I'm gonna be like, well, if it's for me, it's gonna happen. If it's not for me, it's not gonna happen. So I'm okay with whatever because I'm being guided and the universe knows what's best for me. So I'm okay with that, whatever it is. So in a way, I was already doing that without really knowing.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of think that there's like all different types of techniques that you can use, but really they're all doing the same thing. It's just helping you create a different energy, a different frequency. So when you are saying like, yeah, I want this, but let it come however, I'm open to whatever, it doesn't feel so heavy. But if you're like, I have to have this thing and it has to happen exactly like this, like that doesn't feel good.
Mm,
So I really think it's just like getting into
yeah,
that feel good state. And then things just seem to happen.
yeah. Yeah, and also I look at it like if you're really rigid, so if I use the analogy of a tree is really rigid and it grows up straight and it's really tight. When a big storm comes, it's going to break because it's so straight and rigid. But if it's a tree that is flexible and it's kind of crooked, it can move around with the wind and it's going to survive because it can move with the wind. It's just easy going, kind of like I equate that with an easygoing personality. Whatever happens, I'm okay with. It doesn't have to look a certain way. And in fact, when you're not so stuck on a certain way, it can oftentimes come way better. Like it's a universe already has something planned for you that's more amazing than you could even conjure up on your own. So yeah, I'm open to way better, that's for sure.
Exactly. One of the things I love to say when I'm trying to like create something or call something in, I always like to say like I want this or something better because a lot of times
Yeah.
universe, God, source knows what we need way better than us. And it's almost like and
Oh,
we
yeah.
might have, I don't know, who knows, we might have actually kind of planned out a lot of stuff before we came here. And, we might
Yes.
have a certain
Yep.
trajectory, so surrendering to that, just letting, things happen through you could be surrendering to yourself. That could be, surrendering to your higher self, to a higher plan for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, surrender for me looks like not surrender. A lot of people think of surrender as like waving the white flag and just giving up and just laying there and not taking any action. But for me, it just looks like I'm being guided and I'm surrendering to that. I'm okay with whatever the divine has in store for me because I know it's in my best interest. And I know divine has my best interest and is going to help me get to my best self. So I'm surrendering to whatever he has in store for me. And I'm okay, fine with it. So I don't make a lot of plans, but I do have things that I like and want. And I just put it out there. I would love to have this. And I don't have an insistence of when it should come. Like it needs to be right now. It needs to happen tomorrow. I just, I know it's going to come. I don't know when, but divine timing. I'm okay with that. Divine orchestration. I'm okay with that. Whatever you want, divine. I'm open to that. So that to me means surrender.
Yeah, I love that. It reminds me of that book I was telling you about, The Magic of Surrender. He does this little experiment where he literally goes like on this journey where he's just like trusting his gut with everything. And it ends up taking him somewhere to meet the perfect person, and all these events happen. But It was just him
Wow.
experimenting with your like intuition and just saying yes to what's there. So there's something really powerful about that. You just kind of feel like you're guided. And the energy just feels good. Like I've
Mhm.
tried that too. I haven't had anything crazy happen to me. Like nothing led me to some amazing thing yet. But I probably need to practice it more. But just tuning into your body too is a form of surrender and tuning into the present moment and just letting go of all the crazy thoughts in your head and all the chaos around you. Like that's another form of surrender.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's so many, and when we do surrender, there's so many different ways that we can surrender. But I'm wondering, why is surrender so terrifying for most people? What do you think?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, for me personally, like when I was younger, I was very stubborn and like really hated to be told what to do, was the type of person who would want to go protest. I was all like, let's fight for our freedom, let's fight for this or that. Because I had to fight for freedom when I was a kid growing up. There was a lot of rules and things, whatever. But so for me, the idea of surrendering was like yucky. It was, I felt the same about forgiveness. It was like, no way, that's not for me, that's for the weak. But it wasn't until I like started to really
Mm,
like learn about it that I realized, oh, this is powerful for me. But I think a lot of people get confused. They feel like they assign it to like the energy of like, you have to fight for yourself or you need to stand up for yourself and to surrender like like you're surrendering to your enemy, like you said, waving the white flag. That's not what we're talking about here.
yeah,
It's letting go of control
yeah,
because we don't have control over our outer world. We have very little. We have control over our perception, our over our, attention and that sort of thing. But when people hear surrender, they think I have to give up control. And that's scary.
yeah, yeah. I remember when um, I was starting to learn about spirituality and connecting to divine. I had a really tough time letting go. I had a tough time just believing of something that I couldn't see. Just having complete faith, putting complete faith into something you could not see. And it took me a while to get there. I had to continually just put faith, and you really do. You just really have to put faith and know that the universe has your back. But to get there and to let go, it takes a while. At least it took me a while. I wasn't able to just be like, okay, whatever. Um, I'll just let you guide me. It took a while for me to get there.
Yeah. Well, it's like we kind of have to unlearn the things that we've been taught and everything that like has always made sense to us. And then all of a sudden there's this new idea. And it's like the brain is like, wait a minute. I don't know about this. So, I mean, it does take time
Yeah,
to grasp that like new idea. But each time you do that and you open up and you expand your consciousness a little bit more and you grasp that new idea, it's such a beautiful feeling once you can like implement that. And then it's like you go for it again and you stretch out a little more and you can like accept a new concept. And I love to be open to new things because like the way I see the world is there's this like hermetic axiom that goes, all truths are but half truths. And I love that because if you think about it, anything is possible. Like what some person believes is true, the exact opposite could also be true from just another perspective. Kind of like I think what is it like there's three monks that are like feeling an elephant and like one of them feels the leg and
oh,
says it's a
yes.
tree, that sort of like analogy of like, different perspectives. So I think that like anything's possible. So I like to be open to like new ideas. But it's a little interesting when you're like, whoa, I've really believed this for a long time and now it's being challenged. And so yeah, surrender was like that for me. I was like, wait a minute, this is different, but this
Yeah,
is good.
yeah. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea that surrender just means that, we give up and we're just being guided. We do have to take action. The only way that we're going to get anywhere is to take action towards what we want to do. And then towards what we want, we have to take action towards what we want. And then when we take action, that's how we find out if it's for us. Because if it happens in the positive way, then that's for us. If it doesn't happen, then it's not supposed to happen. But kind of looking at it like that kind of surrender.
Right. Yeah, no, I like that. And also just thinking about the things that like get in your way, the things that happen in life that we have no control over, and just allowing
Yeah.
that to be. There's something so beautiful in just
Yeah.
allowing the uncomfortable things to happen and the things that aren't fun. Because sometimes there's something in there. There's a little tasty tidbit of information somewhere in that like moment of despair or whatever.
Yeah. Can you give us an idea? That's such a great concept. I love it.
Yeah,
What is the idea of the despair? What tidbit?
well, I like to think of it like this. Every like adversary or every shortcoming, every heartache, like every painful moment in your life carries with it um I'm mixing up a quote. There's a quote from Napoleon Hill that goes something like that. It's like every adversity, oh, I can't even speak right now. Anyways,
Adversity.
yeah, and
Adversity.
every heartache, every shortcoming carries with it the seed of a greater or equivalent benefit or something like that. Basically, what it means is that
Yeah.
anything that happens to you, there's something in there for you. And so if you look at every experience in your life and you're looking for the advantage, what's the hidden advantage in there? Like, there's something for me. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe it's a detour in the right direction. Maybe it's an obstacle that turns into an opportunity. So just having that like open mind to say, hey, what's
Yeah.
in here that could benefit me?
Yeah. I look at that, what you just said, with triggers a lot because I know triggers are there to teach you something, even though they are so tough and you could hang on to the trigger for a while. It is something that's relating back to your past that you have not let go of. It's something showing you where you're not free. So it's an opportunity to work on that. It's an opportunity to look at it with a new light, with a new perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely surrender. Yeah, I love that. Reading this book, The Surrender Experiment, and this guy, Michael Singer, he just decided to allow life to take him wherever. And even when he was really resistant, like if he didn't want to do something and somebody said, okay, this is what's going to happen, even if he resisted it, he would go with it and see where it would take him. And it always turned out, I mean, I'm just in the beginning of it, but it always turned out to be way bigger than what he thought it possibly could be. It just showed him that the divine is there and with him. I love when I see little I see synchronicities or divine talking to me, like the numbers are the angel numbers, and then the 111, how you told me about 111, and all of a sudden I saw it the 2 days later. It kept showing up 111, and I didn't know anything about that until you brought it up. So that was a pattern. But I love when divine talks to us in that way, and shows us, hey, I'm here, you're being guided, and that's just, and when you just drop everything, you're just like, this is way more magical than my own life and trying to be in control, trying to be in control of everything. Oh, this has to turn out this way. That has to turn out that way. I won't be happy unless that happens. Um, it's way more magical when divine shows you that he is in charge and he is guiding you and he's showing you that he's guiding you. That, and it is just like the feeling is so magical. And I just surrendered to that. I want that every day
Yeah. No,
of my
that's
life.
so amazing. I love that. And it's like The synchronicities are all around us. Like God is there guiding us,
Mm.
spirit source, it's all there. We just have to listen. We have to learn how to listen. And when you surrender, it's like you're slowing down, you're saying yes instead of resisting. And when you're in that state of non-resistance, you're open, you're expansive. And so then you can see all those little synchronicities. You can hear, basically, you can hear God speaking to you through the numbers or, signs
Absolutely.
on a billboard or like a song that comes on or like, there's all sorts of like little messages that are out there. We just gotta like let go and listen.
Yeah. And become aware, like really become attuned. And I'm sure there's so much more than what I'm seeing. I just have to let go of the blocks so that I can see them more. And yeah, it's exciting because there's so much more that we haven't even gone through yet, that we're about to go through. Because can you, um, okay, how do I put this? So before we were started filming, we were talking about how we could see our spiritual teachers, us being there. Like we can already see where our future is going. We can already know that we're going to get there. And how do we know that? We don't know, but there's a knowing inside. There's a feeling inside that we do know. And how do we know? Who knows? You can't like be sure. You can't, there's no scientific, proof or anything like that. But it's just something inside of you. You just know. You just know.
Yeah. Wow, I love
I'm
that.
sure I didn't explain that well, but I think you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. There is that knowing. And you know what I like to think that it is? Because I like to think about like time just not being there. Like if you took time out of the equation, I like to think that those are memories. It's like a memory of our future. Like we can literally have a memory of something that hasn't happened yet. Because if time's an illusion and it's just here in the 3D reality, we need time, we need space and time here. But if you think of the whole big picture, time's not really a concept. So there are like
Yeah.
we're having a memory of what is going to happen to us in the future kind of. I know it sounds really weird. It's hard to wrap your head around, but like I've thought about it enough to where it kind of makes sense to me. But, that's just my way of like trying to make sense of it, but there is definitely something there. And who knows where that comes from. I think it comes from God. I think it comes from a power
Well,
greater
that's
than
what
us.
deja vu is, right? That's what deja vu is when you are like, oh, this has happened before. So, um, I've had dreams about my something happening and actually it happened, or just got a feeling that it was going to happen and I was correct. Um, yeah, I love how you said that. And I actually got goosebumps when you said it. The knowing the future, like it's a memory of the future. I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
such
knowing where we're
amazing,
going.
powerful beings, and we have no idea like what we can like our true potential. And so like every day is like a new experience, and every day it's like there's new things to learn, and it just makes life so much fun when you view the world that way.
Yeah. And be okay with whatever, dropping the control and the rigidity, it doesn't have to look a certain way because it can actually be way grander and way better and way more beautiful. And just putting that trust in like, I know what you have in store for me is phenomenal. And I don't want to be in charge of it. I just want to be surprised, just that trust.
Hmm.
Like, how will this turn out? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, we've all experienced this too. Like everyone has had a moment where something didn't work out, and then later on they look back and they're like, thank God that didn't happen. Like, I'm so glad I didn't get that job or I didn't get that house or whatever. So it's like that's an example of, you know, source or God stepping in and when we don't surrender to those moments, when things happen and like we don't get what we want, if we're not okay with that, it just creates a lot of resistance and pain and suffering that's unnecessary. Because then years later, we're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love this conversation. Thank you so much for listening and spending your time here with us. We really love and appreciate you.